All right, I think everybody, welcome to the channel. We're about to start. I'm getting rid of my starting soon, adding me to the mix, and here is our guest, Royru. Oh, there we go. Which everybody, welcome. If any, oh wait, I can't see you. No, yeah, I can. Yeah, you're
What do you
popping.
mean?
There's a delay. There's a delay. Can you?
Oh, okay. I was watching the stream like I don't see much delay, but I get what you're saying now
Yeah.
though.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So, for anyone just hopping in, to the stream who's not in my class at the University of Utah. My name is a Checkpoint Professor, and I also teach a class on game streaming. And I'd like to welcome our first guest of the semester, Royru, who I've known for a little while now, mainly on Twitch. We were just actually talking about it that I've never actually seen his face.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now for you since you
And
want to see so much. Yeah, it's all the way back in March of last year.
But yeah, so one of the reasons, and I'll let Royru kind of introduce himself, but one of the reasons I'm excited about Royru is I think when we were just talking about why people watch Twitch, one of them is the strong motivation to watch somebody who's really good at a game. And Royru, I should let you tell it, but so he's ranked one of the highest in Super Endless Expert, right?
I'm number 3 in the entire world, and I'm the only English speaker who is in the top, 5 or whatever. Well, actually, yeah, top 5. I'm pretty sure. Well, no, actually, I'm top 3 because Zovia caught up, so she's gonna be number 4 here soon because number 4 lost their run about a week or 2 years ago, and it was sad. They lost 5,500 basically.
Oh wow,
They're being very reckless. They jumped. They played a freaking SMB2 Kaizo. Why? Why would you play that with one life? Who does that?
that's awesome.
Anyways, yeah, so I'm number 3 in the world, and I plan to at least get on number 2. Number 1 is like impossible because all she ever does is breathe Mario Maker 2 Super Expert. So yeah.
That's awesome. So while we kick this off, Roy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, how you got into streaming, and help us understand you a little bit more.
Hmm. I guess we could start with the fact that I wasn't enjoying life, I suppose. I mean, I had a job with the grocery shop or whatever. I was a supervisor there. I was doing probably twice, maybe 3 times the amount of work. And I had enough of it. So I started just delving into the whole stream life thing because I got my own little place at the time. Well, now it's sold and I got kicked out. But at the time I was living there, I had a chance to actually set up some things and learn what streaming's all about. It was honestly the first 2 months was awful because I just first you ain't gonna get any viewers. Number two, you have to play with your settings and such. So it's like, well, what the hell do I do? And the next step of that is just consistency and always improving. You have to keep improving your stream any way possible for people to notice you. And that's how I got here into the streaming life and eventually quit my job. I'm much happier now. And now I got into YouTube, which is also blowing up. So I'm in a position now where it feels a lot like work, especially when you're editing videos. But at the same time, it's like a good work where you actually enjoy doing what you want to do. I'm not getting the money, obviously, for living fantastic, but I'm in the position where it's going to go up eventually when Twitch stops sleeping on me and make me partner.
And so, how long have you been streaming on Twitch?
Well, I've been an affiliate since August 7th, I believe, of 2019. I started my first stream, I believe, early June before Mario Maker 2 came out. I was testing things. When Mario Maker 2 came out, I was pretty much exclusively Mario Maker 2 for a while. Then around end of July, August, I started doing some randomizers for Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm just exclusive Mario Maker 2 until pretty much I get partner
And why
whenever that
why
happens.
Mario Maker 2? What draws you to that game?
Well, apparently, I mean, I've loved Mario, I guess, in a way. Like SMB3 was like my favorite thing as a kid. SMW was up there, but not as close as SMB3. And I watched a lot of Mario Maker 1 streamers and YouTube, and I got really interested. I just really got interested. And I wanted to get Mario Maker 1 before Mario Maker 2, but when the moment I was about to buy Mario Maker 1 actually for the Wii U, I heard and saw that Mario Maker 2 was announced. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put it off aside. I'll just wait till Mario Maker 2 comes out because I don't want to get used to Mario Maker 1 and then switch over to Mario Maker 2 if they have a different engine. Lo and behold, they had a different engine, so it worked out for my favor. Now, as for getting good where I'm at, I played a lot of expert endless. And when I got to like 100 and I believe 18 when my run died because I was still a noob back then, I went into super expert, just started grinding that. And I was struggling between two clears for the longest time. Then I got to like six and struggled with that. Then eventually I started pumping up to like the 30s, the 40s, and my run kept dying because I didn't know anything about like when to skip. I got to number six in the entire world, I think, at the end of August with like 81 clears. And I never touched it since because I started doing viewer levels. And I eventually came back through, as you can see with my run now. It's 6,000 plus. I just started doing super expert because viewer levels was not really getting me anywhere. As soon as I swapped to super expert, the numbers went up because I guess it was more interesting content.
So what do you think's more interesting about it? Why do you think viewers are more interested in that?
Well, I think endless is like a random number generator term of just random levels, really. And it's interesting to see how people go through the garbage because you'll find 90% of the levels in expert are garbage and about 99, 98% of the levels in super expert are garbage. So I think the interest is pain. People love to see pain, just like troll levels. I'm assuming that's what it is. But what people watch me for was what I've been told is they like to see how I skip. They like to see how I play levels patiently. They like to see the patience, I guess, in general.
So I have a question that I've been wanting to ask you for a while. Maybe I already have, but I can't help to notice that you don't use a webcam, and I'm wondering why.
Well, let me just pull up my stream real quick and see the professional message that I left for myself, so I can actually just read through it. Let's see. Due to my current situation, until I move, I cannot use a face cam slash green screen. I want to remain professional as I live with my brother slash family, and using the face cam on stream before I move will not be professional at all. Personal items and other things, as the fact that my family bothers me from time to time. I have to mute myself basically, and behind me is not a pretty sight. Let me tell you, it's not gross. It's just not a pretty sight. It's overall just not an environment I want to share with my community. Wait until I move, and then we'll have a good time with the facial reactions and all that.
So I think that is awesome, and the reason why is you look statistically. Most streamers that grow in popularity, there is lyric. There are a few that don't use face cams, but statistically, the streamers with face cams typically do better and have more viewers. And the fact that
Yep.
you're growing so quickly without one, I think that that's really cool. I love seeing exceptions to the rules.
Well, the exception here is they see a big, large, super expert run and they go like, "How the hell did you do that?" And that's usually how they come into my stream.
Yeah, and
That's
so
literally it.
that is awesome. Yeah, no, that's one of the things I talk about all the time. Like, not to get too much into Mario Maker, but I do notice the a lot of the levels I play, the world record holder is always Royru, which is a testament. So when we're going to talk about actually the one of the motivations that we talked about in class is inspiration or aspiration. You aspire to play like somebody you're watching, and I think that's probably one of the big reasons. Like you're when you reach that top, so people come to watch the gameplay, and obviously the witty banter, right?
Yeah, it's basically what I've been told several times throughout the week. Actually, just like they like to watch, half gameplay and half personality talking about things. And I will say one thing though, Pepe does make a good point. Improvement in gameplay is optional. That is true to an extent. Depends on how you want your stream to be. Do you want your stream to focus on gameplay, or do you want your stream to focus on entertainment? It's up to you. Infinite Jump Slash is a good example of this. He focuses on entertainment, and it works for him. He's not as big as me, but eventually he'll get up to that point. As long as he focuses on the entertainment, he'll get there. But a healthy balance of gameplay and entertainment is a good mix too, because a lot of people are interested in both, and that's probably where I landed in.
Yep. And Hex Omega mentions also one of my favorite streamers is Tomato, and he doesn't use a webcam. Shots fired, says Hex Omega. One of the things I'd like to notice that I noticed about you too, and we can discuss about, is that you spend some time streaming, but one thing I've noticed is like you'll jump into my chat and you'll jump into other streamers' streams a lot. So what is there an idea behind that? Do you go there to just build up the community, or where do you spend your time outside of the stream as far as Twitch goes?
This is a very good question because if it wasn't for a guy named Mayless Black, who's also a streamer, he's the one who told me I need a network, basically. He nudged me in the right direction because I was a solo player. I didn't know anything about Twitch. I didn't know anything what I needed to do there. He told me, go network, basically. And ever since then, well, before I started YouTube, I would always go into someone else's new or a friend's chat and I'll just hang out. I'll send levels in if they're viewer levels to show my levels off. But mostly it's just to have a good time. I think you want to spend probably 2 to 4 hours a day if you're really trying to do that stream grind just to get noticed. And you also, if it's for my Maker 2 community, you also want to have some levels that way people can see what kind of creator you are. And if you're a very good creator, you get noticed faster. Like some people who just were known in the community for just their contraptions and stuff. They became a streamer and they're already like 20 plus average. And it really goes to show that your community is very important for Twitch, especially for Mario Maker 2. Without that, I wouldn't be here today if I did not network. But now, since I'm doing YouTube, I spend a lot less time on network priorities. It's more of like just a small thing. I'll pick a follow list person that I follow. I'll hang out with them for like a few hours, but I'm also trying to make a video too at the same time. I'm kind of really busy now, so.
So do you find a lot of traffic coming from YouTube?
Actually, yes, I do find a lot of traffic from YouTube lately, especially a lot of people come in and say, "Hey, I enjoy the videos. It's nice to see you live, etc., etc." But I will point out in the chat there, Peppy, that's what I was trying to get at. Just don't self-advertise. Engage, hang out. Do not say that you're a streamer. Let people figure it out on their own. This is the best wholesome way you can get noticed.
Yeah, and I'll point out too. You always notice that because I'm big on shouting people out, like whenever they come to my streams, and a lot of these people that are pretty big streamers, they'll hop on and they'll actually say, no, 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 you don't have to shout me out, right? So I think that is when you say wholesome and acting professional, that's huge. Not being
Yeah, I
big on
tell I tell people not to shout me out when possible, or I just ignore it because like I don't need that shout out anymore. I don't need it at all.
right.
Like it's
Well,
not even a big deal.
so do you mind if I ask you about your current hardware and how that's evolved since you started streaming?
It's really never changed. Well, the only evolution is probably my microphone. I never had like like a Yeti or a Snowball. I actually have a Yeti, but that's the only thing that's really well. Actually, no. That there's one more thing. I have two monitors now. I didn't have two when I. That's the funny point. I actually had only one monitor when I started testing streams, like on Smash Bros or something. I learned quickly that you need two monitors, you idiot. It is the microphone and monitor. My keyboard, my capture card's been remained the same. It's been in good health. My Switch, of course. My computer, I have never changed it out. It's all built by parts that I bought. It's very well made. Problem is, I know it's starting to die now. The motherboard might have some issues. So when I move, I plan on getting a better and more supercomputer than last time. And I'm gonna have three monitors. That's my plan because having two monitors is still not enough, especially when you're doing some things on stream.
That's true. So do you use the HD60 for a capture card?
I HDMI 60, yeah, but the thing is, I can't stream or record in 60 FPS because I think my computer can't handle the recording of both at the same time, but that's why I need to get a new one. But the streaming at 30 FPS is a must because my internet sucks and they like to throttle me and they just, they deny everything that I say. But I used to be able to stream in 6K bitrate at 720p. I was going to go 1080p, but then I started noticing my frames were dropping a lot. So I had to go to like 2500 bitrate. And then it started to drop there after like a month or two. And then I had to go to 1500 bitrate. That's why I'm at 540p right now, by the way.
Yeah,
My internet. And it's
I
the only
noticed
internet
that.
I can get here. And it sucks.
Yep, and that's what I love is one of the things I really like bringing into this class is to show that this is someone without a webcam, this is someone on a low resolution relatively, and is still kicking butt on Twitch and YouTube. Pepperoni has a question in the chat for you. What's the difference in networking and building a community between Twitch and YouTube?
Well, at YouTube, I don't even network. I literally just answers people's comments. That's it. And it literally brings more people in because it goes into the algorithm. You could go into other YouTube communities, but I can tell you right now, I don't think that will help you at all because you'll get drowned in the comments. It won't even matter. It's better for Twitch. You want to network and engage with their chat because it's usually slower, whereas comments on YouTube ain't gonna do anything for you unless you get lucky with that person who upvotes you than another person. If you get lucky, sure, but we're talking about actual real engagement versus luck, Just make sure you focus on the comments in your YouTube. Make sure you be professional. Make sure you answer the questions. Try to engage with them. Be a real person. As for Twitch, you just network. You just be yourself. Try to hang out.
All right, another question from the chat. Baby Yoda asks, I'm trying to build a community, but I get no one. What should I do to help?
If you're a Twitch streamer, this is the kind of answer that I have for you. Network. Keep being consistent. Maybe your stream has something wrong with it. It's possible that maybe some of your settings is what causes people not to watch your stream. The main problem with that is transcoding. What that is if you start your stream and all you have is source like resolution, people cannot watch that on Twitch. They have shitty connection with Twitch. You need to make sure you have transcoding or start at a lower resolution like 480p so people can actually watch you on mobile and such. If that's the case, if you do viewer levels for Super Mario Maker 2, then you'll be set because a lot of people will come in anyways and you'll start to get noticed. As for Endless, I would not recommend doing that as your starting profession because unless you're in the top bracket, people don't normally come in to find out unless you have a good personality, good entertainment already to begin with, and you're already trained for that kind of thing. I don't think that you'll get noticed quickly because you'll be at the bottom of the list. I would start with viewer levels. I know everyone hates it, but that is the best way to get noticed. As soon as you start seeing to develop a average, then you can swap to anything you want. Versus is pretty good for some things, but people don't like to watch versus unless you're like S plus or higher. I've noticed there's that. So everything revolves around a tier system. Viewer levels is at the bottom tier.
So,
That's what I recommend.
awesome. Do you have any advice for non Mario Maker 2 streamers?
Hold on, before they say that question one more time in just a moment here. You can't afford a capture card. You're streaming on a budget. I would recommend. I use Ripsob, which is the most expensive, and you pay for what you get. As for a streaming card that actually is okay, I would recommend the lower ones. I'm trying to think of the name of the brand. I think maybe IGS might use it, but there's two other brands that are okay to use. Avermedia and Web. What's the other one? I don't even use it. Can't even think of it. But there's another brand that is good for you too. But if you're on a budget, don't go into streaming to get to partner. I would recommend going streaming as a hobby. Start there, work on a job outside, pay for your expenses for your streaming, work on a good microphone, etc. Get more professional. People will notice you quicker. That's the best way. Elgato, that's the one. That's the other one. If you want the best streaming experience with your capture card, I recommend Ripsaw HD because you can plug in your headphones in there and it works like a charm.
Oh, nice. That's one of my issues with my Elgato. But
Yeah, you just
but I
plug it
make
right in.
but I make do, So Pepperoni says he uses a capture card that was $20 HDMI to USB.
Listen to Peppy then. He knows what he's doing because I've seen his face before. I've seen his streams. Like he knows what he's doing. Just listen to him, and I guess
He's a smart guy. He's the one that he actually came up with my name, Checkpoint Professor.
what I think is more important for streaming audio and video, both. There's no way around it. You need both. You need good audio. Maybe like in an environment where I'm at, you don't want because then you have other noises coming in. Then you have to use a noise gate. But as for video, you need at least 480p for Mario Maker 2. I noticed. I do 540 because it's the bare minimum I can do. Video and audio are both important. You need both of them to simultaneously exist. But you had a question earlier, Professor. What was it? Do you remember?
Don't remember, man.
I had to stop you from him because
No, you're
Baby
good.
Yoda said something. So
Someone said thoughts on using YouTube to grow an audience, then transferring the audience to Twitch. Royru sounds like you do both Twitch and YouTube, and I wonder which platform you think is easier to grow on.
it depends. So Twitch probably easier in general. I hate to say that because no offense to Twitch, it's a shit platform compared to YouTube. For YouTube, I started doing it after Twitch because I got interested in editing because it was a very interesting thing to me. I actually enjoy it. As for transferring audience to Twitch, I just put something on the screen of all my videos, somewhere in the middle, somewhere at the beginning or the end. I stream on Twitch. Come check me out, basically. I also have a thing where saying, hey, people forget to subscribe. If you like the content, subscribe. I do that on my videos. I just throw text on the screen. I don't even say anything. It's worked. It's definitely worked. As for bringing the audience to Twitch, you could do that by starting on YouTube first if you want to, but here's the problem. You have to get the algorithm. And I was doing daily videos since July last year, and I didn't hit the algorithm until I started my new series, which, by the way, is what my whole stream is about, Super Expert Endless, 5,000 plus. So I started doing that. People got interested. They got clickbaited, even though it was legit clickbait. They got interested, they wanted to check it out. That's how I did it. But the thing about the algorithm is you have to be careful. It's very hard to hit it, and I finally hit it. And all I did was the only thing I changed in my algorithm, other than my quality videos starting to get better, was I doubled my video time. That's all I did, and
So
that literally hit the algorithm super hard.
what's the prime video time?
Apparently, it's between 20 and 30 minutes.
All right.
I think when they say you have to have a 10-minute video or 8 minutes now,
Yeah.
that is the retention rate that you need. As long as it hits above 10 minutes, I think it'll potentially hit the algorithm. My videos were receiving like 8 minutes, 7 minutes all the damn time when I was doing 15-minute videos. Then when I hit 30, it was like 12, 13 minutes. And that is literally what blew up the channel. As soon
Nice.
as it hit that retention rate up higher.
So, quick question, then I have another follow up. Someone has said, "What streaming advice would you have for a non Mario Maker streamers?"
Well, if you're variety, you're gonna have a better community, but you're gonna be smaller. If you're not variety, stick to it. Stick to the game you're gonna do, and just deal with the community you're eventually going to get. It's gonna take many months or years, or you can switch to a game that you still also enjoy, but is more popular, which is what I would recommend if you want to get bigger on Twitch. If you don't care, continue doing the same thing. Eventually, you'll get a community out of it.
It's awesome. Another question before, and we have a bunch of questions, so we'll follow those up in just a second. But I have,
What's up?
just for those who don't understand, Royru, can you run us through the process of the content you make for Twitch versus the content you make for YouTube? Just because people may think that are you making exclusive content for YouTube?
In a way, I am. I'm transforming my content from streams into YouTube, but it's not 100% exclusive because it's from my stream. Here's what I do for my Twitch stream. I stream like normal. You be yourself, be honest, etc. But then I take that video and then I crunch it up into bits and pieces. I pick the best levels. I make sure to edit with transitions because that's very important. If it's boring, transition it or speed it up, one of the two. You can also, when you get into editing, you can start learning how to zoom in. That is a very hard process for me because it takes a lot of time to make one zoom in edit. Unless there's like a program out there that's better, I'm sure there is.
So
But the
someone
one I
asked,
use
go ahead.
requires actual keyframe stuff, so
What
you have to get good
software?
at editing.
What
So,
software do you use? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Filmora 9.
Okay. I'd like to point out that UofU students have free access to Adobe Premiere.
Adobe Premiere is good too. I just saw that one. I was like, I kind of like to look at it, and that's just what I did. So,
That's awesome.
oh,
Okay.
one other thing for video editing: make sure when you do stream and record, make sure you have the audio tracks ticked on so that you can separate your microphone audio, your desktop audio, and your game audio. Make sure those are all ticked on. Without that, it's really hard to edit good quality videos.
Awesome. So, someone else asked, there are a few here. Oh, let me get back up to this one. How do you combat the repetitive nature of a streaming schedule? Can you pivot to something else when current content isn't vibing?
The repetitive nature of a streaming schedule, it doesn't really bother me that much. I am late sometimes because I like trying to export a video because my internet sucks when uploading it. But other than that, when you do the content, spice it up. Like literally, when I label everything as my maker too, but I'll do whatever the hell I want. If I'm not feeling like I want to do super expert endless, I've been playing popular super expert levels, and that's been a lot of fun. It's been a blast. Change up what you do if the game allows you to do multiple different things in it. If not, I would recommend either picking a different game or just don't stream that day. If you really just don't want to stream, your content will just go down. It will just go down. Do not stream on a day where you feel like it's work or you feel like you just don't want to stream. Or change it up where you think you want to play this instead. It'll make your day better.
Awesome. So while we're waiting for some more questions, I have another question. So can you tell us about can you tell us the story about when you finally decided to like quit your job and go full-time streaming? How did that go about?
Well, I was looking at my average numbers for my revenue, and at the same time, I was like, well, I live in a place where I don't have to pay rent because I live with my family, but I also have to do things for them like chores and etc. and pay bills three-way and all that. But when you get to a point where you have enough money put aside and you want to go full time, I still don't recommend it because streaming is a finicky thing. You can either drop any day of the week because something happens. If you have a passion or a dream for streaming, and you get to that point where you feel like you can quit your low paying job, even though mine was it's low, but the things I did were basically almost manager side stuff. But when you get a low paying job and you want to quit it for streaming, you make enough money through subs, bits, etc. On the bad month, by the way, not on a good month, on a bad month, you want to look at your numbers there. I was making pretty much the same as I was making my job as I'm doing now. Actually, making slightly more, but it's sad. But at the same time, it's good for me because I don't have to worry about money so much because I'm putting aside at least I would say 50% minimum every month from Twitch into a savings in a way where I can wait until I move and get all this stuff done. I just don't recommend going full time streaming unless you make enough on Twitch on a bad month to where it can cover out the costs. Otherwise, just keep grinding. Maybe do less streams. Don't do like 8 hours. Don't do 6 hours. Do like 4 hour streams. Less is better. You don't have to stay on Twitch longer to get noticed. In fact, that's where the whole community engagement comes into play. Less streaming, more community engagement. People will come to you eventually. Maybe. It depends on if you have a likable personality, you're not an asshole.
So, and somebody asked, do you ever get anxiety from streaming? If so, how do you combat it?
No. As for combating it, I to me it's enjoyment. So I really don't know how much to say about that. If you have an anxiety while streaming, stop looking at the numbers, I guess, because a lot of people get an anxiety looking at the numbers. I had a streamer when I rated a few days ago. He was just getting like he was getting anxiety from like seeing he's never gotten a big raid before, and he was getting anxiety. I just tell him just be yourself. Don't look at the numbers. It's fine. You'll be fine. It helped him a little bit, but he still kept looking at the numbers. Just don't look at the numbers. Whatever you do, just be yourself, interact with the community that in your chat. Oh, and moderation is also a good thing too. I should mention, you'll get that Man of Steel if you're Mario Maker's 2 streamer, you'll know who he is. Just moderate your chat, make sure you get rid of all your toxicity. Do not invite toxic people. All right, just don't do it. I
I
mean,
think
Aura has a very toxic community, but all that 100-bit spam, Orator, a big Mario Maker 2 streamer, and he's just lived with it. And I can see the look on his face. Either he's not enjoying life or he doesn't enjoy his streams. It just goes to show.
And on that note, what has been the most difficult part about streaming?
Two things: OBS breaking and Twitch being dumb, their site. That's the two worst things possible. There's always one problem every stream that I have, even if it's minor. You'll always have problems. You just gotta learn to combat it on the fly and just take care of it. I mean, you can always do a check before you go streaming, which is what I normally do. One time I did a check before I went streaming. Audio for my game was working. Stream went up, put over the audio to the game, gone. I'm like, what? What do you even do about that? And all I had to do was reset my capture card. But like, I'd literally just check for it. You'll always have a problem, no matter what.
Yeah, we were just discussing in class earlier the magic of turning it on and off again.
It really works.
So someone asked, is Filmora 9 your first editing software, or did you use something different
It's
before
my
that?
first editing software, and it's worked for me. I'm sure there are better softwares out there that cost more. I got mine on a sale for half off, so like I can't really complain. If you can get an editing software that makes zoom ins a lot easier, your life will be a lot easier. I'll tell you. It takes like 5 to 10 minutes, and even then, if I'm not satisfied with it, I'll just Control Z and just undo it all and do it better. It takes a lot of processing.
Snow Cactus asked, do you have a plan going into a stream, or do you decide what you're doing on the spot?
I generally decide on the spot at some points, but generally speaking, it's whatever I'm feeling when I go into a stream. I usually have an idea of what I want to do at the beginning of the stream, and then I just let it flow afterwards. It's like if I'm doing popular expert, super expert levels, if I still want to do it, I still do it. If I want, like, I was planning on doing super expert with skips later, but like I was having a good time and I didn't want that feeling to go away, so I just kept playing good Kaizo levels basically. Well, mostly were good, but yeah. You generally just have an idea when you go into a stream and let that flow. If you want to change your mind at any point during the stream, you want to do verses instead on Mario Maker 2, or you want to do expert endless, just change over. There's no problem with it. Sure, you might lose some viewers if all they want to watch is what you're doing now, but if you're not being yourself, I mean, you ain't gonna attract more people if you aren't being yourself anyway. So you'll find another different branch of people that come to your stream if you're doing something else anyways.
Awesome. So I know you've applied for partner. You've reached the stats several times. Can you tell us a little bit about applying for partner or what your plans are for the future?
Oh, that is a touchy topic in general because holy shit, Twitch, what are you sleeping on? A rock? Because I have double the numbers that you could ever want, and I don't understand why you're doing this to me. The first three applications that I did that were denied, I gave a good message, my mission, etc., what I want to do for Twitch. Fourth one, I just decided to be less. I decided to crunch it up even more, just be more direct. Still denied. Fifth one, which is still going out. I'm not sure if I got denied yet or not. Let me take a look at my emails. Did I get denied? No, no information in my emails. Cool. The fifth one, I was more business-like. I was on a very business-like mindset. I was making sure they knew what I was trying to give them. I gave them everything they needed to know, how I can make the money, etc. I was very business-like. I'm testing to see what Twitch really wants to see, or people are just swiping me, around saying, "Hey, this guy doesn't get partner. This guy gets partner. This guy doesn't get partner." They're not even looking at your stats at that point. I'm wondering if that's what's going on with Twitch because wow. I had a friend of mine. His name is GG Seppuku. He does expert endless. Literally, that's all he does. And he puts on YouTube too. And his YouTube's not as big as mine, but he got partner within 6 days of his first application, and he barely hit the 75 average. I don't know what his revenue is like, but if it's bigger, that might have a cause to it. But he's been streaming longer. That's the only thing I can think of that actually made him partner faster. So he's been streaming longer.
So, so
Yeah.
on top of that, Hexomega asks, what's the difference between affiliate and partner?
There's really not much different except for the check mark and more emotes. And of course, you get more money from subs, but that's the only three things that are different. I have been looking up multi streaming, and if you want to get noticed faster, I would recommend multi streaming on every single platform, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. And if Twitch gets to the point where you want to be affiliate, you kind of have to focus on that unless you want to stream on a different platform a different day because they have a very exclusivity clause that's annoying, that basically makes you stream that content and you cannot stream that content again on a different platform for 24 hours. That just means whatever game you're playing basically and what content you're making out of it. But yeah, I would recommend multi-streaming and pick the platform you want to stick with because that will actually help you the most.
Yeah, maybe that's a topic we could talk about in class. There's a site called Stream.io that'll help you do that. But before that, Pepperoni asks, how important is good branding? And tell us about what makes Royru Royru.
Branding makes everything. It makes you unique. I had a mascot back then that was more like a cartoony version of me, like I don't know how to put it, but basically I had a different mascot before then, and now I have the persona emotes, personified branding that I have now has transformed the stream into a point where it's super unique. People love persona, the art style, etc. I went one turn into the other to try to make my stream better, but also I enjoy persona, so it works out as like a win-win situation for everyone, for the viewers and for me. I just enjoy persona, and that art style is just like, it's amazing. It's very good. That profile picture you see on his screen right now, that is my artist. He made that, and it's basically a personified version of me. It's literally completely custom art.
So let's talk about art then. So how did you find your artist, and how did you go about going for your art direction and your branding for your Twitch site?
He found me. So he was looking for people to beat his garbage ass levels. Yes, Luna, I'm talking to you if you ever listen to this. He had some really nasty, unfair levels back then. I mean, he still kind of does once in a while, but he couldn't find anyone who wanted to beat them. Everyone turned him away. People couldn't beat it, or they just basically told him to piss off in a way. He found me, and he gave me the levels when I was doing viewer levels, and I beat every single one of them. And he was impressed enough to the point where he told me he was an artist, and from there on, he's been my main artist. Literally, that's all. That's the love story that I got for you.
That is awesome. And follow up that is perfect question. At what point do emotes become important to a beginning streamer?
Here's the thing about emotes: either they're important or they're not. You can either sell your subs as an emote package where people can use it for other streams. If you're going to do that, I'd recommend either making them very universal so that way they can use it on other streams, just in general. Otherwise, don't worry about emotes too much. Either make them quality or don't worry about them. You can make them not very quality and just have them because people want them. But I would recommend either having very quality emotes or make them universal or both. Honestly, both is better, but yeah. Make them universal for everyone to use. That way people can, when they buy a sub from you, if they're buying just for the emotes, I've seen it several times. People will buy subs from Barb for their emotes because of what they have. People will buy it from Orator because of the emotes of what they have. It's literally mostly the selling point for emotes is are they universal? That's literally it.
Very nice.
Fifth time's the charm. Yes, Peppy, I know.
So how long ago was your last attempt at partner? When did you?
I applied 3 days ago. You're allowed to apply like every 2 weeks or something like
Oh,
that.
is it? Oh, you can. Oh, wow. That's at least they allow you to apply frequently.
Yeah, they do. And they keep telling me the same exact message. Your stream is healthy, but we want to see more from you.
And have you asked them what more they want to see, or
Yeah,
is
my
it?
third apply, I asked them, could you please tell me what I need to do to make you guys say yes? I will literally try my best to change if that's what you want. Same exact message. Didn't even bother reading it probably.
So I'm not sure you answered this, and I think we'll probably just have a few more questions. Everybody in the chat that has the last question you want to ask, please put it in there. But where do you see yourself in 1 year, 2 year, 5 years? What's your plan?
I honestly never went into streaming with a plan like that. It was just for fun, for a hobby, and then it became a job, which was a fun job. I see myself 1 year probably being half as big as, like, maybe hopefully as big as some of the other partners, like Racefire and Panga, maybe if I'm lucky enough. In 2 years' time, I hope to be as big as them, if possible. Once I get a webcam and have more facial reactions, sure, and more of a professional environment where I could be myself and not be slightly stressed out with family around. So there's that. I just see myself hopefully being one of the bigger guys for Mario Maker 2.
That's
That wasn't
awesome.
my intention, but it became a plan when I realized my numbers were going up.
Yeah, Pepperoni says I hated that question in school.
Yeah,
LOL.
that question doesn't even matter in school. Literally,
It doesn't
I don't
matter in
even remember
school.
what I wanted to be, but I never
Yeah.
became that.
I want to be a fire engine. Okay, Gamma Ray says I have a friend who averaged 85 viewers. Took her 1+ years to get partner. They were saying the exact same
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah, I could see that. It's been since August last year since I keep getting denied. That's what, fourth time, so fifth time's a charm. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what they expect. I really don't. One guy who barely manages 75 average, but they're a 2 year streamer, and then just get it because why the hell not? Whereas I've been less. Well, I'll be 2 years here soon, but I've been 1 year, actually 1 year and about almost a month of reaching partner status just from being a nobody. And I think Twitch is like, wonder if he uses viewer bots or something. It's my guess. But I honestly hate that kind of stuff. And I did
Yeah.
get follow botted once, and I got rid of all those follows by
Yeah.
using a program. But honestly, I don't get it. Twitch does what Twitch wants to do. So focus on your YouTube, focus on something else. And eventually maybe Twitch will give you the partner status that you want. Seriously.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you on this interview because I've interviewed other our guests. Twitch has actually hooked us up with some partners who we've chatted with. But what I love about having you on stream is honestly I see you as an up and coming Twitch streamer who's doing a lot of the things right, and you're constantly improving. And I love giving some insight on somebody who's not just up there on top saying get good, you know. So
Yeah,
it's
get good. Get partner eventually. Have
yeah.
fun. Good luck.
Okay, so a couple more questions. Are you married to Mario Maker 2? Would you consider looking at another indie maker games like Levelhead?
Look, I love Mario Maker 2, and I used to do a lot of Zelda randos and crowd controls, but when those weren't probably enough for Twitch to give me partner, I had to focus on Mario Maker 2. I want to play other games. I do. But I also want to focus on the main game that got me big. I want to make it at least 5 days. Hell, I want to probably do something what Aura does. Maybe do Mario Maker for 4+ hours, and then eventually at the end of the stream, we'll do something cool, something fun. I've played roguelike stuff on Steam before on my stream. I've played other games, just random games. But I started to focus on this game more because it's what got me noticed. I think the plan of action is get partner, then do whatever the hell you want. But there comes to a point where if you do what the hell you want, you're gonna lose a lot of viewers too and a lot of subs, etc., because they're here for your main game. And it's a game I enjoy, so I have no problem with sticking to it, or like getting better at the game. It doesn't bother me. But if you want to retain your viewers, don't be that jackass who got Mario Maker 2 partner apparently and swapped over the Fortnite and has like 2 viewers. Don't do that. Just don't do it. Seriously, stick to your main game as long as you enjoy it. Otherwise, do whatever the hell you want. That's literally my best advice. Do something that
Awesome.
makes you happy. Seriously.
So I think that's the best advice to end on. Do something that makes you happy, and you're obviously someone who loves what they do and loves playing. And I'm grateful that you took the time to come chat with my class. I think it's been incredibly insightful, and we really
One last
appreciate it.
thing
Yeah.
before we go here.
Uh,
Hard work goes a long way. Do not make your stream half-ass. Make it the best quality you can. Work on it. Make sure it's professional. Do not go any lower than that. Don't be lazy. If you want your stream to grow, people will notice that you put a lot of work into your stream. I have cards you can play on stream. That took a lot of effort to make because I spent about 4 hours of my day putting audio and stuff into those cards, making sure they were all right. I put more effort into, my alerts to make sure they're all nice and good. I have a friend who actually works on that for me, so we get things to work. Make sure your stream is a good environment, interactive, and they show that you're being honest to yourself. Just don't be something you're not, and don't be lazy. Make sure if you want to grow, make sure you do it right.
I'd like to point out that Infinite Jump Slash just said "whoops, lol."
IGS is growing too, by the way. He's a great streamer. I love his entertainment. I just wish he would have more numbers. I wish I could stream at a time where I could rate him more. Seriously, the dude deserves partner. He's wacky, goofy, and fun. He's got good variety content. I would recommend checking him out. Seriously, he'll make you laugh, and he plays dumb, but I wonder if he really is that dumb.
So some last minute shout outs to Infinite Jump Slash, Pepperoni, all the streamers who came out to hop out
Oh,
here
and
today.
IGS Infinite Jump Slash is literally one of the first streamers I found, and I have been watching him almost as much as Smash Cantos, but he's literally made my day better by just watching how how goofy he can be. But if you want a good time, if you're depressed, watch IGS. He's like the best healer for depression. Seriously.
Awesome. I'll have to check him out. So this has been great. I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you for the students in my class, we'll hop on Zoom in about 20 minutes. But Royru, thank you so much for coming out today.
No problem, man. Sorry I couldn't make it 10 minutes before schedule, but
Well, since we didn't have a
yeah.
webcam, it made things easier. So
Yeah, I don't have a webcam. I plan on buying a brand new one when I move. That was the plan, anyways.
all right, everyone follow Royru, and
You don't have to follow me, but I appreciate it.
no, you have to follow him. I think it's a rule.
I suppose if you want an idea of what a good stream could be, you could check me out at least once.
yeah, if you're a guest on my channel, go follow Royru. Okay, all right, thank you so much. All my students will see you in class in a bit.
All right, take care.